Welcome back to another casted game between Hera playing as the French versus Celestial playing as the English. The map here is French Pass, known for these two mountains here down the middle. With this gold, the gold has been decreased a little bit since the last patch. Has two sacred sites. And of course, each corner features a trading post. Now, the rank of these two players, this is the top of the ladder. Hera is currently ranked 52 on the ladder, and Celestial is ranked 41. So it's sure to be very high-level gameplay. And of course, on a map that's, sometimes has some different strategies because your bases are rather far apart, especially when you have tree lines that increase your walking distance even further. Sometimes there's lots of walling. Sometimes players go for control of the middle, control the resources, go for sacred site victory. There's a few different ways to play this thing, so we'll have to see what these players decide to do. Obviously, Hera playing the French, one of the stronger civs against English, although I'd put these civs neck and neck right now. They're very powerful. Maybe if I had to choose one, I'd maybe give the edge to Hera, although, Celestial, he'll be, playing as the English. English very good too. They have that late game gold generation. Maybe they don't need to get the middle of the map. And of course, there's these sacred these trading if they decide to go for it. But let's see how they play this out. Does look like Celestial's going for a little bit of scouting. Thank you there for the follow live on Twitch. And he's going to be going over seeing what Hera's up to. Although when you're playing against French or English, I don't feel like it really requires a ton of scouting because you kind of know what to expect. They're either going to go straight into the knights, or they're going to grab a little bit of stone and they're going to go for a second TC or something like that. For the most part, we'll see what Hera does here, but you want to have your scout nearby to check that out as they hit the next stage. And the English, they're either going to go for a lot of early longbows, or they're going to go for just a huge boom of shooting for getting to that Imperial age with the gold generating of the farms. You do see here in the first age, Celestial currently has 7 on food, 2 on gold, and now it looks like 3 on wood. Bringing in some sheep, getting them nice and close. Look how close they are to town center. Oh, I thought he was going to stop him right there, but it looks like he kept running. Sometimes you miss it, and that's what it looks like maybe happened there. Hera, meanwhile, has queued up his next one here. Let's see. There it is. There's now the only landmark you could ever expect out of the French, the School of Cavalry, which allows him to train those Royal Knights right when he reaches next age, and it makes your units produce 20% faster for all your stables. So it's absolutely excellent for the French. Now you do see actually he only has 1 villager building it. So 1 villager building the School of Cavalry, 3 on gold, 8 on food, and then 4 on wood. Let's see who's going for. So Hera's going for stone, and man, did I call this one or what, guys? I haven't played a whole lot of French recently myself, but if they're going for that stone early on, that definitely going for a second town center. And for the French, to be honest, their villagers scale so well in the first place that you get out a second town center, you're just going to be massively booming your enemy. Let's see if Celestial scouts it out. Though I don't know where your scout is right now. Where did he go? Maybe we can find it this way. There he is. So he's out here. You'll want to work his way back on over to see that Hera is in fact going for that boom, because that's something you definitely want to know, at least. Okay, so you do see Celestial also going for stone. So chat, what did I tell you that means? He's going for stone. He's going for a second town center. So both players big time booming here on French Pass. Pretty common thing to see on French Pass, considering there's a lot of defensive spots for walls. It takes a long time to get across the map. And these two civs generally, are going to be pretty powerful as we move into the late game. Getting those longbows across. Sometimes you see a lot of longbow rushes out of English, but don't really want to do that against French. You can have Royal Knights against you. So we'll have to see how this game progresses as we get into the third age. I don't imagine we'll see much action in the second age. Maybe Hera will train like a knight to go try to poke at some villagers, but I'd be surprised if we see much army at all. So there we go. Hera's got currently 5 villagers on stone, and he has 7 on wood. You will see here he's shooting for 400 wood, 300 stone for when he hits that second age. That's when you can place down your town center. Now let's talk a little bit about town center placement. When you're building your town center, it can of course garrison up to 10 villagers inside of it. And you want to build it somewhere where it's going to secure some resources for you and extend your reach just a little bit. So if I was in Hera's boat, maybe somewhere around here could be a great place for town center. Either you could go out by the hunt if you really wanted to, or by these berries. By a wood line is typically what I like to do because, you know, when you run out of food or gold or whatever you're by, it's always good to just rally villagers onto wood and then you can move them from farms to there. Now, I could also see Hera deciding he wants to maybe capture this gold. Maybe he'll put a town center down here, but he goes right up here to northeast. So he's obviously must really want this wood line. A little bit surprised he didn't place it out this way a little bit. I wish I could talk to him and ask him what his thoughts were here. It seems like I guess it'd be protected here. But it's just really close together. But maybe also he just wanted it to be like kind of in range of the other town center. Kind of a curious placement. Let's see where Celestial puts his town center. And there's a little more of what I kind of expected to see on Hera's side. We have a town center next to the berries, next to the wood, next to the stone, next to the food. So should be excellent. And although we're commenting on, you know, just minute things here, as there's not a whole lot going on other than booming. Of course, both these players are very, very good. So I'm not second guessing, you know, what Hera is going for here. Just kind of pointing out sometimes what you might see for town center placements. Okay, meanwhile, Hera is getting the wheelbarrow technology in here at the mill. Nothing at the mining camp. He went for the first research there for clearing out trees. Let's go see what's going on for Celestial. He currently has not gotten forestry yet. No mining camp. Is he going for wheelbarrow? No. Did he get professional? No, he did not. So now this is that tech I was talking about late game that make the English so strong on this map. Enclosures, a unique technology for the English. Each farm enclosure being worked by a villager generates +1 gold every 3.5 seconds. So it's nice to be able to generate gold from your farms. You're going to be making lots of these farms. So for the English, absolutely awesome. We hear that Stalemate going on down here, and a few longbows. I think these are just defensive in case something comes in to raid. I doubt he'll move out. He's going for a scout now, so he's going to see the same thing Hera saw. Hey, look at this. Both players doing the same thing, just kind of running by with that scout, checking out. You see the stone. You don't have to see the town center. You just check the stone, and you can see, look, stone's been taken. He's gone for it. Hera does look like has placed down a palisade wall to the north side of his base. Here, a little bit of whistling. They're going to be whistling for a long time with these scouts. There we go. This is what... Man, I kind of thought this might happen. Harrison, just one royal knight, just to get a little poke in there. And let's see if he picks up a villager. There we go. With that charge plus another hit, down goes one villager. Was that 2 villagers? Oh, no, maybe I was mistaken. He got 1 villager there. Okay. I thought I saw one go down before that. But this royal knight... going to be backed off by these longbows. Longbows in numbers are just going to be able to deal out the DPS against Hera to need to back that knight off. And I think he's only trained 1, which is fine. Yep. Got him a little bit of scouting info. Showed that knight. Maybe he got Celestial thinking maybe some more knights are coming. Mess with his head. But Celestial's probably going to call the bluff. And no, you know, you're probably not going to be rushing in here across the map. Now we see here that Hera has gone for some early farming. Now, perhaps this is why he built the town center in this location, is he just wanted to be pretty defendable, which it does have this kind of defensive wood line, and start working on getting these farms down. I'd be curious why he didn't decide to go for maybe these deer earlier on, so especially with it looks like he did make an effort to wall in the side, but I expect we'll see him moving on to these deer soonish. Although, honestly, sometimes... no, yeah, I think he should. But we'll see. I'm sure he'll move out to that. Okay, down here we got one wolf. Also known as a bitey infantry. They provide no food to gather, only death. Only death. You know, I have a scout. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a scout. That is a horseman chasing after that scout. Now, not a lot of horseman action here, but do know that this horseman did get nerfed in the last patch, so I don't think we're going to be seeing as many as these as we might have seen before. Certainly, I don't even try using these against longbows unless you just have a crazy amount of them, because those longbows are just going to out DPS and take these horsemen out. You do see, though, they do start with +1 range now. Now look at that. He's got his arm up in the air like he's holding a sword. Maybe not. He's just got his fists out there, no-handed, riding that horse. Very interesting. But Hera chasing that scout down and putting down the guild hall. Now, Celestial was able to scout that. He ran by just in time and knows that Hera is aging up. Although I imagine something similar is going to be happening over here. Let's see what we got going on. 2 town centers. Not seeing it age up quite yet, though. It's going to be coming in very soon. Look at this here. Yeah, he almost has it. Let's take a look at that villager graph while we wait. 45 villagers for Celestial and 53 for Hera. And both these players kind of dropped his town center at the same time. That is just completely because of the villager training bonus that the French get, which makes me really wonder, how can an English player sit back and turtle against a French player who's doing the same? It's going to come down to, obviously, these military battles here, whether it's in the 3rd or the 4th age. But Hera is going to have an early economic boost, not to mention this guild hall, an S+ tier landmark. It will gain resources over time. So he currently has it set on gold generation. So you can see it there. It's generating free gold for him. Now, he hasn't collected it yet. What you do is it collects over time and slowly and keeps adding up. And then eventually you can gather it. Now, some people will try to use it kind of tactically early on to maybe grab 600 gold here, 800 stone there. But many players will just let it sit on gold as kind of a rainy day fund. So when you suddenly are hitting 0 and need to spam out some siege units or maybe some knights, that you can suddenly turn that in for thousands upon thousands of gold. And it is a absolutely OP landmark. I would not be surprised to see some changes in that in the near future. Although we know that big winter patch just came down, and if you didn't get to check out my patch reaction video for the most part, but it's a patch overview, go and check that out. It's like one of my videos I posted here recently. But we expected maybe some nerfs would be coming in for these knights who are very strong, but really didn't see any changes other than some nerfs to French on water. I hear they still are quite strong on water. The longbows did get a little bit nerfed. They're not able to heal while they're running, to my understanding now. So it's a little bit of a nerf to the longbows, which I think wasn't appropriate. I kind of thought it'd be nice to move their campfire ability to the 3rd age, personally. But that's kind of the update for where longbows stand right now. Let's see what's going on right now for Celestial. He has aged up, there we go, with the King's Palace. Now, we talked about that villager count. This can help him even the odds. This acts as a town center, so he's able to train villagers out of this landmark. So let's keep an eye on that villager count, although at the same time, French still has their 2 TC, still has that even more increased. I believe as they move through the ages, actually, they have an even more increased villager training bonus. Let's look here. He's on 73 vills versus the 65 of Celestial. So, but Celestial doing a good job, keeping it close. I mean, 10 seems like a lot, but I mean, hopefully that won't be a huge factor as we get into our first fight. Now, you see Celestial building some outposts out mid-map. And the reason he's doing that, you see this aura going up around the outposts. What he's going to be using this for is for the network of castles. When enemies nearby is building sounds an alarm, causing nearby units to get a plus 25% increase to attack speed. So you can park your units nearby here, and you get a buff in attack speed. So it's in your interest to kind of creep across the map with some towers, not very unlike the Mongols. Now we see here Hera is going full aim here out of the gate, starting off with Springolds. We know this is Age of Springolds. If you do have a Springold, make sure you throw it there in the chat. Oh, but we have a wolf getting in the action. He says no to Springold laming, and we'll be working down on that Springold right now. But the villagers have pulled out their bow, and they're going to be slowly silencing that bitey infantry. Now, at the same time, we see Hera going for Age 4 with the College of Artillery. This is a landmark to train these very strong French artillery units, Royal Cannon, Royal Robotiquin, and the Royal Culverin, and they do plus 20% more damage. These units are not to be messed with. So going for the 4th age, I would not be surprised to see the same thing as Celestial. This is very common on a map like this. And we don't know. This is a live casted game. This could very, in fact, be a long game, or it could be some action here very soon. But regardless, we'll keep it interesting. Watching these scouts battle, these are the details you sometimes miss during, squabbles of longbows and knights in the 2nd age. but just the scouting duels. They're out here game after game. Look, this one's got an axe out. Sheep just putting an overtime, galloping away from that horse, getting back to his base. Let's check in on these upgrades here. It does look like wheelbarrow was researched a while ago. No hunting upgrades. He does have, looks like, the first 2 farming upgrades in. Has went for the first mining upgrade and dropping a lot of barracks. Now, seeing a lot of barracks, what I expect to see would be man-at-arms. Man-at-arms are very strong units, especially paired with what often we see as springolds, but siege units and man-at-arms do a great job. And we see Hera throwing up a outpost of his own, though this outpost will not be giving any bonus other than line of sight, unlike the English outpost. What do we have here? Scout getting sniped down by that springold. Okay, and so Celestial is moving out and dropping a keep. There we go. Oh, is he going to drop a keep? He's thinking about it. So keeps can be really crucial on this map because if you can control the gold in the middle, it can make a big difference. Now, I say that, but we're up against the French. And why is that an issue here? Well, the French have this landmark accruing gold. This already has over 1,000 gold. So even if he gets idled for a little bit off of gold, he's got a little buffer there to give him the time to regain that. He can also go for trading. So not a huge deal. And then we also, of course, have the English who can generate gold from their farming. Should they get the... did he get the upgrade yet? It looks like he's going to get it here very soon. Okay, so maybe some action. We see Springolds positioning this edge-to-edge Springolds. If you can move across the map, build a keep, move Springolds, build a keep, move Springolds. It's a pretty common strategy right now, though I think we're going to be seeing a Springold nerf coming, I believe, next week, if the whispers are true, but we will see. Now, Hera has his men-at-arms as we expected. Look at these guys. I always like how their units look. Look at the feathers on these guys. They look great. Really cool looking units. And here comes that Royal Cannon. Very strong unit. This will be devastating to that keep. Look at the damage it has there. 240 damage plus 480 versus building. So you add that up. Let's see. I'm no mathematician, but that's 680 plus 40. That's 720 damage to a building like a keep. So look at that. 720 damage. Oh, I can't show you the HP because he's garrisoned in there. Very unfortunate, but trust me, it'll bring it down. Why is it a Royal Cannon? Well, it is a Royal Cannon because it was trained at the College of Artillery. And if you train here at the very prestigious College of Artillery, you do become a Royal Siege unit. So it is what makes the French artillery particularly powerful. Okay, gathering some more stone. Look at this. Big stone outcropping there. Got 3K stone there. Let's see what's going on here. Any English troops on the horizon? Just that keep for now, but we see another keep. And another thing I gotta mention, controlling the middle is good for the gold, but what else is it good for? If you can control these 2 sacred sites, it is a win condition. So get a few keeps up on those, and you can start to count down that timer, and may never have to even push into your enemy's base, which sometimes it's such a hard task to try to break through the lines and push in. It's just easier to sit back and have defenders advantage on the sacred sites. Though doesn't look like he's gone for them yet. Is there even a church down on the field? I don't see one quite yet, so I don't think he's going to be going for that the sacred sites yet. Though, oh, I say that. There's the monastery coming on up. So he's going to be training that scholar. He can also pick up this relic here mid-map. I often honestly do the same thing. I'll build my monastery mid-map on this map. Okay, what's going on over here? Now, Hera's been really massing up this army, looking like he's going to push. I feel like he needs more artillery. He's training from the College Artillery, but these units train, they take some time, right? 45 seconds. Honestly, that's not that bad. Oh boy, so we got a lot of spring walls over here. Celestial is trying to put up some stone walls. This could really help give him some line of sight, especially what I like to do is build the stone wall towers. They really give you some good line of sight, which can make the difference in these springald battles. Not to mention a springald that has a lot more HP on a wall. It's pretty good. But this villager's probably going to get sniped. Let's see here. Springald moving around. Boom. Oh, it survived. Did not expect that. And here comes Celestials, Springalds. Now, if we look at these units, they do have the bonus from the network of the castles. 25% increased attack speed. So with an already strong unit like the Springald, that it just makes it even more lethal. What was that? I hear some kind of explosions. I think that was a cannon maybe taking some shots up here. What is shooting? Is it this? The Berkshire Palace? What is he shooting at? Oh my gosh, it can reach that? Is that true? Wait, no. What is it shooting at? I am so confused right now. It appears to be shooting at the outpost, but the outpost is not taking any damage. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. And we do see, look at that. Springald's instantly sniping down that royal cannon. He does have a bunch of scouts, though, so I think we're going to see a charge on this Springald line, guys. Hera, he's doing it again. In come the scouts. Now, they will be under heavy fire from that keep, and look at that. Celestial sees it coming, and I thought he was going to move behind his wall, but he stayed there. Perhaps a mistake. He loses one Springald. Probably two Springalds here. I think three Springalds at least are going to go down, but the man-arms attacking them. Meanwhile, we got man-arms hitting at the villagers here. This may be maybe a lot of villagers going down here. Let's see here. I can't really tell who's winning this fight because the scouts all died. We got some villagers. The villagers have survived. They're keeping this keep up. It keeps doing a lot of damage, and Celestial still has the Springald count right now and taking out all of Hera's Springalds. So if Celestial can hold on here, he'll be in a good position if he wants to push out. Let's see. Now, one thing you've got to account for when attacking into the English is their buildings just shoot arrows like no one's business. They will really do some damage, especially against a unit like a scout. Now, scout's really cheap and expendable, and Hera's just really committed to taking out these Springalds with the scouts. They do torch damage, so very effective at attacking these Springalds. You see them trying to roll away, but he has picked off quite those. Although I feel like, honestly, Hera's been kind of feeding a little bit of units. We'll have to see how this fight ends, but this could go on for a little bit here in this battle. Okay, so there we go. Celestial has held. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Springalds still alive. He can heal these Springalds with his villagers, although I do not see him doing that. Is that 7 Springalds? Maybe I didn't count it. 9. Holy cow. So they were stacked up, but the keep does go down. Now you see off in the distance. Oh my gosh, guys. This landmark, I think, hides under the radar of very, very strong landmarks. The Berkshire Palace. This thing has like a Gatling gun for a turret. You get next to this thing, you just have an absolute storm of arrows coming after you. And you also see him shooting off those cannon placement. I'm not sure if he had to research the cannon placement or if it comes automatically equipped. Look at the range on this thing. Look at that. And English buildings are just no joke when it comes to their arrow fire. I'm very afraid to stand under them and fight like Hera's doing here. So we'll see if Hera pulls this off. And garrisoning some villagers there to increase that keep damage even more. And Hera does have these man-armed numbers. What's else coming from the backline? I feel like Celestial's doing okay. Let's look at the villager count. 128 for Celestial and 103 for Hera. Although Hera, of course, can trade in here at the guild hall. I think he may have he did already make an exchange for gold. So look at Hera's gold there. A little bit low, but he's already traded in. And you know what? How much gold is left in his base? Now, he's still got some time, but that's going to run out here very soon. So he'll need to figure out what he's going to do about the gold. Honestly, Celestial could just sit back and kind of wait till Hera gets desperate for his gold situation. He is training a lot of gold-intensive units, with the exception of the scouts, right? We got the man-arms. Well, they're not very gold-intensive, 20 gold. But, of course, these artillery, his cannons are 600 a pop. That's going to add up over time. So I think Celestial's eco is probably in a better place right now, although the score does appear to be in Hera's favor. So we'll see how this battle goes. It's still anyone's fight right now. Too close to really make any assumption at the moment. In come these scouts, looking to maybe get a pickup on something. I'm not sure that they can just charge into that landmark. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to mess with that. But here we go. Another charge from Hera, the man-arms. but maybe just a bluff. He pulled back. I think he's trying to get that cannon in range of that keep. Look at it, dealing out that range damage. Just a lot of defensive bonuses for Celestial here, being in the defender situation here. In the kind of feels like the driver's seat, even though he's on defense. And I'm kind of curious, does he have line of sight with the... Imagine if he had built a little tower there. He would really have a ton of line of sight. So Hera's just trying to take out the keep. And here we go, a third defensive structure coming down for Celestial. And to be honest, this is looking like a good defensive hold so far for Celestial. Hera's maybe going to need to change up his strategy. I'm not sure, but he's really committed to the Man-at-Arms. He believes in the Man-at-Arms. They are a very strong unit paired with Siege. Although I feel like he needs to maybe up his Siege pressure. Although, oh, he has no gold. Look at this. No gold right now. Man, he should at least pick up that relic. It would help him out. Man, these scouts, I think, are going to get shredded very quickly. They, of course, are just a meat shield for the most part, trying to get some easy caps on these Springolds. Getting around back, trying to. Doesn't look like they got in range of the Springolds. And on the meanwhile, though, Hera's got a lot of man-arms, although some of them are kind of on the back line, not attacking at the moment. But he does have a lot of man-arms. Can he pull this off here on this push? We do see Celestial's army slowly dwindling, but at the same time, he's got Springolds back here, sieging, taking shots away at Hera's army. When you consider that these Springolds, every shot they're doing, they deal out 60 damage. 60 damage. It's really, really effective at sniping units. Although, look at that. Again, some value out of these scouts. Anytime you can kill a Springold with scout, it's a good trade. But these man-arms have wiped out this fight, although very low on HP, and I'm a little bit nervous that these keeps are just going to slowly pick these off as they are low in health. Springold's continuing to take shots, although Celestial just doesn't have an army right now. The Hera having a fairly successful push. We see more scouts flooding in from the back line, more man-at-arms, and I'm sure we'll also see, yeah, there's a cannon. So, you know, this is what Hera needed. He really needed to have some success on this push, because it would have been, although, you know, was it a success? He killed some Springolds, but he didn't break down any of these defenses. I'd say it's maybe a defense. He took out his army. And honestly, it looks like Celestial maybe is caught a little off guard on his military production buildings. He still is sending units from back home and doesn't have a ton on the front line, so it's going to take him a little while to repop. While Hera has already popped a decent-sized army, he has that Royal Cannon, taking shots on that keep. And, you know, this one's rather low in HP. Oh, but look at this. Springold numbers are already getting back up. We're dropping some more barracks. What an action-packed game so far. What a defense. I keep thinking, like, okay, Hera's got something up his sleeves. Like, he's going to push through. But then the Celestial just keeps hanging on, keeps throwing down more keeps and healing them. And the scouts are very persistent, though. And rather, you know, cheap food, you can kind of throw them away. It's not the end of the world. And come the man-arms, trying to get, what are they hitting back there? There's really not a ton of English units in the battle. Springolds, bad thing to the front line. This is certainly a micro mistake for Celestial, and holy cow, a huge one. That is going to be extremely costly for Celestial. Oh no, I guess he just really wanted that. Did he just want to kill that cannon that badly? Was that worth yeeting all of those Springolds away? I don't know. But all things considered, he did snipe one of those Royal Cannons. But that was a little scary. Yeah, it would be nice for him to pick up these sacred sites. He could have actually started, obviously, the sacred site countdown. You know, I find it really interesting. In a lot of the high-level games I watch, it is very common that players ignore the win condition of the sacred site. I don't know if it's just because they're used to playing other RTSs where it's not an option. I come from playing Age of Empires 3 and playing Lakota specifically, where you don't really always have the siege tools to get into the enemy's base. So I'm used to going for what was called a monopoly victory in that game, which is very similar to the sacred sites. So it's something I go after early on. Surprised Celestial hasn't tried to do it because he has quite a stellar defense. He is training as a monk. I know I saw him have one before, so maybe he has tried. They just got picked off. But would like to see him pick up those sacred sites here. But Hera is gathering his forces, obviously getting ready for another scout push. Scouts, you know, we're not sure if the developers intended them to be really used in battle in any way, but they are a cheap unit with great torch damage and have been something we've seen to counter Springald's quite frequently. They also could come in and they can torch down buildings. So, and not to mention a cheap unit that you can keep producing, particularly when you're in a situation where you don't have a ton of gold in your arsenal, like if he was trying to make all these knights. Okay, we've got that 63 scouts. Now, oh my gosh, we do see spearmen. Now, spearmen have received a little bit of a buff. They will be very effective against these scouts. Let's see if he can snipe down that royal cannon. That royal cannon does go down. Remember, every time that cannon dies, that's a lot of gold wasted for him. And Celestial still has access to plenty of gold back here. I say that, but where is he getting gold? He's getting gold to the north, building a keep. So maybe starting to think about that sacred site. And I do think Celestial is going to hold on here. Just not enough siege damage against, you know, 3 keeps. Just standing here, fight after fight, sieging into it. It's just Hera's units are just getting mopped up. You know, I almost wonder, like, would Hera be better off sitting back with the trebuchets? They're obviously slow. Maybe sitting back with some royal cannons and forcing Celestial to come out, but maybe he just doesn't have options with the Springolds. But not a great situation to be just charging into 2 keeps in the Berkshire Palace. And yes, in addition to the gold in the middle, these farms are back here, and they are going to be generating gold. Although, does he not have the tech? Wait a second. Are these guys not generating gold right now? I do not believe they are. He doesn't have the tech. What? Okay, well, I maybe he's just forgotten. But that's an oversight. That's an oversight. You know, we're here at the top of the ladder. Both these players top 50. You know, you never know. Even the pros miss things from time to time. I miss things just about every game. But, you know, Po Buddy's nerfed. Okay, and there we go. We've got a wall segment coming down for Celestial. And with this, he will finally have secured the middle of the map. And if I was in Hera's shoes, I'd be a little bit concerned. Of course, this Royal Cannon will make a quick work of these walls if he just decides to fight it. We do still have 800 gold left on that gold vein. What is Hera's plan to get gold? Maybe he's just going to trade in here, although he has been trading. So Hera has gone the route of using the guild hall periodically versus waiting super late game. And I'm really worried as Celestial is just going to be able to starve him out. As I mentioned, those Royal Cannons just making absolutely quick work of those walls. You know, and to be in a Hera situation with not a whole lot of gold, it'd be nice to pick up a relic, right? It'd be nice to pick up a relic. Maybe he'll get it eventually. Has that gold research come in yet? I'm very curious. Okay, it does look like it is in queue. There we go. There's all that plus gold. He does have it. What's going on up to the north? Sacred Site has been captured. We have only 1 keep. This would be a good spot to push, but Hera doesn't look like to be in any position to march his army north. All of his military production buildings are down to the south. I think he is committed to taking this middle site. And his best bet would be to get some cannons in range, try to take out one of these keeps and charge in. I'm not sure about the whole charging under 3 keeps. Like, he's had like 3 or 4 full popped armies fighting under a lot of arrow fire. So we'll see how this goes if he tries to do it again. Look at that. It's so cheeky, taking out the mining camp. Can't gather gold without a mining camp. Well, you can with farms. It says he's under attack. Is there a wolf up here or something? And you know, it's just glowing. It's just glowing saying he's got the sacred site. Okay, I thought there was like, it was under attack. Now, obviously, we do not have a timer for the sacred site. And man, I mentioned this earlier on in the game. This is often how these games go. Why push into the enemy's base when you get to sit back? But here we go. Another charge from Hera. I'm going to go into the cinematic mode. Let's see what happens. This time, these are all horsemen. Horsemen charging in, trying to get a hit on those villagers. Meanwhile, the Royal Artillery laying down some shots on those keeps. 1 keep looks like is going to go down. And this time he is staying back just a little bit, keeping the siege alive. And there we go, moving in on these bombards with his horsemen. It's actually looking like a rather good fight for Hera as far as what we've seen so far. Celestial's really trying to move up so he can get a pop on these cannons. Though as he's moved to the front line, we did have horsemen getting on top of those artillery. We also see man-at-arms in the mix. And as far as the siege plan, this has probably been the most successful one Hera has had so far. Now, look at their resources right now, though. If Hera loses this fight, I mean, he has no gold. And unfortunately, even though I think he's made some success here, this could be really scary because Celestial can just instantly repop everything he's lost here. I'm assuming he has the military protection for it. So we'll have to see if it's enough. I'm assuming Hera's going to make a dive for the Sacred Site, and if he doesn't get it, I do wonder if we will see the GG called. Although, look at this. Hera not giving up with the horsemen, going in, and he is currently wiping those units off of the Sacred Site. Can Celestial hold on? All he needs to do is whittle down this last army because Hera has no resources. You see him trading. I think he's trading some food for gold now at this point. What is left in the guild hall? 860 gold, so he has a little bit to work with there. But is it going to be enough? You know, I've been mentioning it, and I don't see people really talking about this a whole lot, and it really surprised me because I talk about it everywhere. These landmarks, they just shoot so much arrows. They are like literally Gatling gun emplacements. If you run in there, I mean, especially with units like this that don't have a ton of armor, I mean, look at the arrows flying out of that thing. Just look at it. It is absolutely crazy. And there we go. GG is called, and Celestial taking the win with the English against Hera's French on French Pass. What a great game. A stellar defense from Celestial, going for that Sacred Site finally towards the end to draw Hera in. And Hera just spending a lot of time sending units into just a lot of defensive buildings. And I think that's going to have been what cost him in the long run. You know, look at this military graph. Huge army, way more than Celestial, but it just gets wiped out. And each one time of this, he's whittling down the eco of Hera, and especially when he was kind of on the timer running out of gold. So good game to these two players. Make sure you check out their Twitch channel and YouTube. I watch Hera just about daily, so highly recommend checking out his stream. I'm not sure if Celestial streams, but I'll take a look and see if I can find it too. And if you enjoyed this other cast, I have other casted games on the channel in addition to build order guides, strategy, and much, much more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.